Good morning. Well, Jesus now continues to speak to the people and teach the people. He had said, I am the bread of life. He had said, come and I will feed you. I will feed you as part of my body. I will enrich your life. I will give you my very life in my very blood to drink. Now he says something more. He says, I am the light of the world. If you have this light, you will understand what the world is really like. If you don't, well, it all appears very strange to you. You are walking in darkness. See, I once came across a person who had been born blind. And I said to them, do you ever sort of grieve at the fact that you can't see? They said, no, I was born blind. I've never understood what sight was all about. I live my life in this world, and I understand the world around me. They said, but there's one thing. There's one thing I would like to have. And I said, what's that? They said, well, I'd like to have sight for just a short period of time, because I hear about things like clouds, and I have an imagination of what clouds are like. He said, as somebody gave me a great big bunch of cotton wool, and I feel it, and I can think of it being floating in the sky. Or I hear about birds flying in the sky. I'd like to know if what I'm imagining is what it's really like. I'd like to know what color is. People mention red and blue and green and yellow, and I have an imagination, and I've created a picture of what it's like, something's like to be yellow or blue or green or red. But I would like for just a short time to know that my imagination is the same as the world around me. In fact, I'm imagining the same thing as you people who are sighted are seeing. So I'd just like to have a confirmation of it. Well, the whole world we're living in is, in fact, in darkness. We may not understand this, but in a form of spiritual darkness. People feel in their own lives that they have to achieve certain things. They have to gain power. They have to gain money. They know that one day they have to lay it all down. Presidents and kings and powerful merchants, they all have to lay it down. They have to give it away because they're going to come to the end of their physical lives. They're going to be put in the earth, and kings and queens and rulers of all types, powerful and wealthy people, all come to the same end. Their bodies are laid in the ground or cremated because they've come to the end of their lives, and everything they had is given away, but they still feel that somehow they want more, still feel they have to struggle to get more. See, they're truly in a sort of blindness. But when the light of Christ comes in, we look out to this world and we know what is true and we know what is right. We see our lives as just part of a great adventure which is starting. We look up at the stars and we know that our God created them. I remember on one occasion going out, it was a beautiful clear night, and I looked up and I could see all of the Milky Way. I could see all the stars in the sky. It was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. And I turned to the Lord and I said, Lord, you have created such a wonderful expanse. And I felt him saying, I did it so you, my son, could enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I knew it was true. I knew that my Father had created all of this, and I was his child. That was light, which didn't depend upon any physical light. I knew my Father had made it so that I could enjoy it at that moment. And I can go down on the coast where I'm living and look out across the bay and see the most beautiful sights and know that my Father has given it to me. See, my Father loves me, and he wants to show me this universe that he's made. He's almost proud of it. He says, look at it. Look at this wonderful expanse. I've made it. I've created it. Oh, yes, sin has contaminated it. Yes, sin is trying to destroy it. But I have created it. And one day I'm going to wrap it all up, and then I'm going to create a brand new universe again. A brand new universe in which you can live. And the sights of that universe are going to be far greater than anything you experience here. What a thought. What a thought of what you can do. And that is light, which can only come from God. It can only come from God. Those wealthy, powerful people who are struggling to become something in this world, well, I feel so sorry for them. I came across one man once, and he'd been working so hard. He said he was working hard to keep his family, but it was the very power of his work which was driving him. He wanted control over people. He wanted to do it his way. He wanted to build up his particular empire. And then he had a stroke. He couldn't speak, he couldn't move. He was just lying there in the bed. And I could see the deep sorrow in his eyes as I said to him, because he could still hear me, the truth of the gospel. He could not express it because he couldn't move. But I suddenly hoped that somehow he would see that all that he'd been working for right throughout his life was in fact of no value at all. And what he should be reaching out for and taking was the very light of Christ himself, where he could see the whole of life for what it truly was. And so I say to you, Jesus is the light of the world. See the world in his eyes, and suddenly you will know what it's all about. And may God bless you as you come to that experience. Amen.